Former President Donald Trump claimed that Israel would hand over Gaza to the U.S. and proposed permanently relocating Palestinians, a move that would drastically shift U.S. Middle East policy. He suggested his plan had been well received, but provided no details on implementation. Arab leaders and some Republicans reacted coolly, and both Egypt and Jordan rejected his resettlement idea. His remarks raised concerns about potential U.S. scam, military involvement, and legal implications. White House and defense officials later downplayed his comments, stating that U.S. intervention in Gaza was not imminent. If you're asking whether former U.S. President Donald Trump could militarily take Gaza, the answer is no. He is not in a position of military command, and such an action would be legally and logistically impossible. If you mean whether he could influence policy regarding Gaza, that would depend on his political future, the U.S. government's stance, and international dynamics. If you're asking whether we should take Gaza, why it's a bad idea, one, and maybe the biggest, it is the peoples of Gaza's home and they don't want to leave. Two, it violates international law. Occupying Gaza without Palestinian consent would breach international law and UN resolutions. 3. Military and financial costs. Controlling Gaza would likely require U.S. military involvement, leading to prolonged conflict and significant expenses. 4. Regional backlash. Arab nations, including U.S. allies, would strongly oppose such a move, worsening relations in the Middle East. 5. Lack of local support. Palestinians overwhelmingly oppose foreign rule, making governance nearly impossible without severe repression. And finally, terrorism and resistance. A U.S. presence could fuel insurgency and extremism, turning Gaza into another costly quagmire like Iraq or Afghanistan. What could be done instead? Instead of a takeover, the U.S. could push for a diplomatic resolution with international support, humanitarian aid and reconstruction efforts, a two-state solution or alternative governance structures backed by Palestinians and regional partners. Final verdict. A Trump-led takeover of Gaza would be a strategic disaster. The U.S. should focus on diplomacy and stability rather than military intervention or forced resettlement.